Hey, what's up guys? I was just setting up this morning to start some testing and went into the garage, started pulling out some bats. And you know what? Kind of came to a realization that I might have a problem. Once I started pulling out bats, I started pulling out more and more and more, and dug into my kids' bags and pulled out more and more. These are literally just the bats that I own myself. Turns out I have 41 bats that were just sitting in my house. And I don't know. I didn't realize I actually had that many. So I'm sure when my wife sees this video, she will probably freak out on me. But this is really over time. You know, kids have been playing for quite a while. And some of these bats were actually kind of donated once people learned that I was starting to test bats. They want to see how some of these older bats actually performed against the newer bats. So I went ahead and took them in and are going to do some testing. We've got some old stuff like T-ball bats that we've had, some really old bats that some of us who have been playing for a while might actually have used. Like we got this Triton 2, an Easton Reflex, a Z2K from Easton, a 777, another SC500 from Easton, a TPX Redline, a really old Louisville Slugger. This is the old powerized bat that probably from the early 80s. Some other Little League bats. I got a few of those. I don't have a ton of Little League bats just because we switched over to Pony when my oldest son was probably only about 8 years old or so. But still I have some, an Omaha Composite, one of the early ones, DeMarini Maxim, Easton Hammer. Got a couple of Easton S1s that we're gonna test out. We've got an Easton S2 to kind of compare against those. Got an old Axe, Convert, a DeMarini Voodoo. This is actually a Little League 2 1/4. That is an old Voodoo, one of the originals, aluminum barrel, 2-piece. That thing actually was a great bat, and was my oldest son's favorite for a while. I have one softball bat. I don't have a ton of softball bats, but I'm going to try and grab some more and actually start doing some softball bat testing. We currently own one USA bat. That is the only one I've bought so far. I don't particularly care for the USA bats, but for league play, you got to have those. This Combat B3 was actually given to me by a great friend of mine, and my son is currently using it in his travel ball, my youngest son. That thing is crazy hot. Got an old Marucci Black, kind of a rare bat. Not a lot of people have it. It's a 2-piece aluminum barrel, and that bat is actually very good. These DeMarini Voodoo Overlords, got a pair of them. I believe one is a 29, one is a 30-inch, and we'll be testing those. Those are great bats. Aluminum barrel, 2-piece, composite handles. Those things were extremely powerful. This red one is the one my older son took to Cooperstown. Not saying a lot with 200-foot fences, but he hit a couple dingers with them out there. I got a couple of Louisville Z1000s. These are drop 12s. They're huge, but they're light as can be. So we'll test those out. These Omahas, I actually have 3 of these. They're exact same Omahas, but I've got them in 28, 29, and 30-inch. And they're all drop 10s. And that's I'm going to use those to do a test on bat sizing of the exact same bat. So it's going to be cool to do some different types of tests that you guys might find interesting, just to as you guys are trying to make decisions on what bats to buy, it's important to know how each size bat performs given the same swing. You've only got one kid who's swinging the bat, and do you buy them a 28, a 29, or 30 inch, and what will that do to the swing speed given the same exact swing? So that's one of the mini tests I kind of have planned out to help you guys with your decision making. Got a few bigger, maybe senior league bats, I guess, and travel ball bats. These are, I think, drop 8 to drop 5. Got an Easton Omen. That was one of the bats that was kind of, I guess, legend. That was supposed to be really, really good. My oldest son swung that bat. It was okay, I would say. Maybe not great, but not bad. The Easton Mako was the hot bat for like one year. That was when they first came out. I think about half the team owned those, and there was a good bat, no complaints. The CF Zen Drop 5, that turned out to be one of the hottest bats we've ever owned. And apparently we're not alone, because currently to buy this thing used, I've seen prices in the $550 to $600 range to buy this bat. And I can honestly say, just from watching my son play with it, it's worth it. if you really care about maximum performance. That thing just, I can't even explain how the ball came off this bat. I'm not even sure how it stayed legal, but it did. At least most of them did. We got a CF8 DeMarini. These are the BBCOR bats that we own. We own 3. The CF8 was an okay bat. Didn't love it, but it performed okay. The Mako Beast, this is a 3229 BBCOR. That's a solid bat, very good all-around bat, well balanced, and we'll test that out. This 919 Prime is the latest bat that my oldest son is playing with in high school. We just got that last year. It's a very good bat, a lot of pop. He barely broke it in. He used this Mako Beast probably more because he was a freshman playing varsity, and I think he was a little nervous about swinging the heavier 919 last year. Just wanted to make sure he could keep up with the pitching, because guys are throwing mid 80s. At that point, he'd actually probably could have swung it. He has a very quick swing. So, but we'll probably see more of that this year, and maybe a new one. But we'll test those out. And of course, we cannot forget our wood bats. We got a couple of youth bats here, an old Big Stick Little League from Adirondack Pro. It's a Rawlings. And then a Louisville Slugger youth maple. It's funny, this is a cheap bat. This is like a $30 bat. But it's great for when your 10-year-old is playing a wood bat tournament. Don't go out and buy some $150 bat. Generally, they don't need it yet, and a bat like this is perfect. If it breaks, so what? Go pick up another. I have seen 10-year-olds break wood bats. It does happen, but it's a little too early to get into the more serious wood bats. But when they do get older, this is a couple that my older son has. Got a Rawlings Hard Ash, which is a kind of a good all-around bat, good practice bat. It's a little cheaper. And then next to it, you can see his Marucci Maple bone rubbed AP5 Pro model. So yeah, we spent a little bit on that one. You can see it's in pristine condition. He barely uses it, but it's hard to hurt that one. It's such a hard bat, but the ball just crushes off that thing. It sounds so good off that maple wood. Makes that patented big league crack when it hits. But again, that's when, if your kid's getting a little more serious, or you're getting more serious, and want to have a very solid wood bat, that's a great choice. And we'll get into kind of the wood bats and kind of what the differences are. You can see possibly on this the grain differences between the ash and the maple, just how much tighter the maple is than the grains in the ash on the right. So we'll get into kind of what that means, and the differences, and then how they swing. Anyway, I was just kind of taken back when I started pulling all these out. I was like, holy cow, I really have this many bats. And honestly, I probably have access to double this amount just with all my baseball friends who I'm going to try and convince to let me borrow their bats. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy it, and I look forward to testing all these out for you guys. By the way, for as many bats as I have, I obviously don't have anywhere near the number that are actually out there. So if you guys have a bat that you're really interested in, please drop it in the comments below. I'll try and source it, drop it on the Bat Judge, and see how it stacks up against all the other bats that we've tested. Once again, thanks a lot. Please like and subscribe. It helps me a ton, and I'll see you guys in the next video.